And we are live. Welcome back, everybody, to episode 10 of Comic Convos. It's Tuesday stream, so you know what that means. Today, we've got on Rex Wang from Dynamite Dynamic Forces, but we are also going to be joined with Nick Barucci today. So, everyone in the chat right now, please welcome Rex Wang.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's
Thanks
up?
for joining us.
How you doing today?
I'm doing all right, buddy. How you doing?
Good. Busy day. Busy day.
No, that's not necessarily a bad thing. We're getting some bad weather. Your family doing okay?
Yeah, I mean, last time I talked to them, they're good. We're actually getting pretty bad weather out here as well.
Yeah, it's moving west to east. I mean, it's what they call it. Uh, oh my gosh, it was some hard name for it. Oh geez, I can't even remember what they called it. Some sort of atmospheric river or something like that. There's
Really?
so much water flowing. I mean, Sacramento looks like it's they're completely drowned out over there.
Really? Man, I guess I've just been really busy today. I haven't kept up with really
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. We had some pretty bad weather last night, and then it's supposed to hit us again. New Jersey declared a state of emergency.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Hey, Dave, what's
Oh,
going on,
crap.
buddy?
Dave,
Rex in
what's
the
going
empty
on?
chair. That's right. That's right. I chased them all away, Dave. It's just me in the empty chair. Empty chair never talks back, though. Notice that?
Yeah. Dave did join my Whatnot stream today, too, so it was really cool to see him in there.
Awesome. Good. I'm glad. Dave, you're a great guy, man. We appreciate, all the support that you've given, the experience, AR, Robbie, everybody, Jen, all those guys out there. We really appreciate you, brother.
It's always a
We
good
really
time.
do. But I'm convinced that Dave's got to be independently wealthy. I mean, to catch all these shows, he's got to be like some sort of gajillionaire. His name's probably not even really Dave Cerrone or something. It's probably Jeff Bezos or something.
If only.
So, but we always appreciate the viewers. And I want to say real quick to everybody out there. I know you're watching AR's channel. You obviously know great content. Make sure you subscribe and thumbs up to it for his channel. That only helps him grow. So
I appreciate it. And I've got all of their links down in the description as well. The Experience, Dynamite, Dynamic Forces stuff. So be sure to tune in. I'm on every Wednesday. They've got streams every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for their live sales. It's a lot of fun. And it's not just a sale. They're actually, we talk a lot of comics. We talk about, pretty much stuff that's going on in the community.
Yeah, I mean, and Dave knows this. I mean, what we're trying to do is we're trying to, there are a lot of claim shows out there, and they're great. Don't get me wrong. We're trying to fill a different purpose, if you will. Claim shows, it's just one comic after the next, and everybody that's watching is tuned into seeing what's next and buying it. We also offer great deals, whether it be CGC graded comics, signed comics, sketch cover remarks. Dave Cerrone, my real name is John Cole Jr. I'm heir to the Cheesesteak Empire. Hey, Dave, save that one for tomorrow night. John will be here, so save that comment for tomorrow night. But sketch cover remarks, variant covers, virgin covers, whatever you can think of. We try to bring a wide variety, but the idea is to try and recreate that local comic book shop experience. So a lot of what we do is, we have random conversations. Anybody that's watched our show knows, AR, it's definitely not scripted. We'll say anything that comes to our mind at any given moment. And we can drift off sometimes, but when everybody was going to a local comic book shop, whether it be on your comic book day to pick your pull list or whatever, you'd run into people with a common hobby, and it can be accountants, lawyers, contractors, whatever. But everybody's there for a similar hobby and similar reasons. So that's always the conversation you have. And yeah, you're going to drift off to, why is Robbie a Dallas Cowboy fan, and the history of spam. I'm talking about the canned meat, not the kind you get in your email, to cheesesteaks that I know Dave loves. The reason Dave always cracks on our cheesesteaks, I believe, is because he's never actually had a good one. Okay. Because you can't get them out in Cali, not a good cheesesteak. So next time you're here, Dave, if you're in the East Coast, cheesesteaks are on me. All right.
Now, I'm not going to lie, though. The California cheesesteaks, like the, I don't know about in California, but you know what I mean? The type of cheesesteak where it's more of a meat. They got tomatoes, lettuce.
They call it a steak and cheese. I don't even know what that means.
Is that what they call it?
And cheese. I picture a plate with a T-bone on it and some cheese on top. I don't know what that means.
Cheese.
but yeah. So I mean, that's what we're trying to recreate, and hopefully, we bring a little bit of entertainment along with some great comics. And the idea, obviously, is to bring great comics at a great price, but also to encourage you to go to your local comic book shop. The Dynamite 10-pack that we always do on every show. The reason I love doing that is very affordable at $5. You're getting 10 random Dynamite titles. And in a way, it's trying to encourage and grow the comic book reading hobby out there, to get more people reading, not realizing that this really is source material for all the movies that they love. And there are a lot more people interested in those characters today than there were in the past.
Oh, yeah.
So, so things like a Dynamite 10-pack reader set. Tomorrow night we'll have the Vampire 25 high-end Paul Renaud Blood Red Ultra Limited Edition cover. We have a great item, Secret Invasion #1, with the Dynamic Forces exclusive cover signed by John Romita Sr. with a Captain America head sketch by Ken Hazer. That's going to be a great item. And Dave says he's from Florida. We got all the old deli people down there. I know it's because all the New Yorkers retired in Florida, Dave. That's why
that's what they do.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yes.
All the old heads on the East Coast.
Yeah, he's right, though. Florida does have some great delis. He's not lying about that. We have Avengers X-Men Axis #1, also a DF exclusive cover signed by Adam Kubert tomorrow night. So, yeah, a wide range of stuff, signed comics, variant covers. And did Amy put it on the list? I believe. Oh, not on the list that I have, but she might have already added it to the list. I don't know if it's on the list that she sent you, but we're going to have a statue as well. Nice. A Deja Thoris statue. So that was a surprise item because it turns out, and I know Dave, are you listening? Because Dave's a big statue collector. But, we've had a lot of success with that. And the viewers seem to enjoy it and want us to bring it back. So we'll do that. And go ahead, AR.
I was going to say, it looks like seems as though every Wednesday you're having statues on now.
We are. You know what? We put the one on, and there was a lot of interest in it, certainly from Dave and a few others, and we figured, well, why not? Let's bring some more statues on. So Wednesday has become statue night. If it goes well tomorrow night, again, we'll probably bring it next Wednesday as well.
Cool. So speaking of Wednesday, new comic book day. Obviously, we got our stream tomorrow. How you feel about all the books coming out? It looks like you have about 5 books coming out tomorrow from Dynamite.
We do, and we'll, Nick will join us in a couple minutes to talk in a little bit more detail because who better than the CEO and publisher of Dynamite? But we've got Deja Thoris versus John Carter of Mars #4 coming out with all the different variant covers are coming out, Virgin covers, cosplay covers. We have the Clash of Kings from George Martin, whom we're all familiar with from HBO. So that's coming out #15. We've got Barbarella #4, and then Invincible Red Sonja #5. So those will be coming out, and Nick will join us and go in a little bit more detail about it. But Dave says, I am not a big statue collector, but the deals on those beautiful Red Sonja and Vampirella statues were too good to resist. All right, so hopefully we'll bring some more statues that are a little too hard to resist. And Miguel Poole and Derek, thank you for joining AR's show tonight. I really appreciate it, as always.
Thank you for tuning in, everybody.
So, got to ask you, have you seen Dune yet?
I haven't seen Dune. I'm going to be honest. I don't really know anything about Dune. It looks very cinematically well done. The cast looks awesome.
It is, my friend. It is. I got to tell you, I was very excited to see that come out. I'm a huge Frank Herbert fan. So it was really, I was actually surprised. It was supposed to be released on the 22nd. And on the 21st, that Thursday, I go home and I turn on HBO Max, and was going to look at some of the previews and stuff, and it was available to stream.
Really, it's on there.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a glitch. What happened? I didn't read anywhere that it was like that. So I ended up watching it Thursday night, although I was supposed to go to the movie theaters and watch it, but I couldn't wait. So I just watched it at home. I will have to say I was impressed with the way it was done. Was not too happy about the mini series that they had on TV years ago. Obviously love the one in the 80s. I felt that was well done. Although they missed a lot of things because they tried to it's a pretty long book, and they tried to fit it all in about 2 hours or so, which means some of the more subtle things were lost. in translation, if you will. But definitely worth a watch, even if you're not a Dune fan. You know, I thought it was well cast. Jason Momoa was great. Josh Brolin was great. You know, so I thought that they cast it very well. You know, as well. So definitely, even if you're not a fan, you should catch it.
Cool. I'm about to check out HBO. I mean, you said if assuming it's still streaming on there, I mean, was it maybe 15 a month at most for HBO?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I probably got all the streaming channels because, you know, it was just the pandemic and stuff.
When you get to be our age, watching it in front of the TV, I would say don't get old, AR, but the flip side isn't as attractive.
Well, it's not really AR's choice. But, you know, here's a trick when you get old, AR. If you're watching it at home, and you want that big screen experience, sit closer to the TV.
That's already pretty close. It's already pretty close.
We really do not plan this ahead of time. The only other thing I'll say is, AR, be like me. Just be immature. Then you won't feel so old. You know?
Hey, I mean, we're in comic books. We have to be immature to an extent, you know?
Exactly.
I'm almost 52 and a half years old.
Okay, well, you are immature. A half?
Almost.
Really? Almost. A half? Come on, man. That's what, 6?
I'm about to be 29.
Listen, it's like George Carlin said. You ever heard the George Carlin joke? I'll butcher it about age. When you're a kid, you're 9. You can't wait to be 9 and a half. You're going to be 10. When you're 17, you're 17 and a half, almost 18. And when you're 20, you're like 20 and 9 months. I got 3 more months to go before I can have my first drink, depending on what state you're in. And then all of a sudden, once you hit 70, 80, you start counting every month because you can't believe you made it. You're 80 in 3 months. You're 80 in 4 months. You're 93 and a quarter.
I think the FCC has a rule that you tell them jokes on the air.
Listen,
hey, anything goes over here,
right? And we were selling.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Oh no.
So we're selling. It's 7:00 in the morning, and we're selling Spider-Man comics with the first movie coming out, like 2002, maybe.
I think
and so. You know, I'm talking to those. I was like, yeah, you know, I grew up with the TV, the cartoon, Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Get off the air. We do our post-mortem with the buyer and the planner. And, you know, guys write notes. And then all of a sudden he looks up to me and goes, by the way, you can't sing. I was like, well, I know I have a terrible voice for singing, but do you have to say it? No, there's an FCC rule that you cannot sing on the air. He's like, we're still not sure you can sing happy birthday on the air. We think the old woman who wrote it or the old woman who wrote it still have a few years left.
I suspect that the employee at QVC lied.
Yeah, right.
I never know with them.
Sing happy birthday
they didn't want to embarrass the vendor, but you know how else are they gonna make them stop singing on the air? Use the FCC rule.
So, all right. So we got a huge Wednesday. So I'm going to let Rex talk about all the important stuff with AR. Hit up all the cool collectibles tomorrow night. I'm going to work on Dynamite because it is just an incredible Dynamite day. So we have Invincible Red Sonja #1, and I can never say this word right, but I'll try it anyway. The penultimate issue before the final issue. You got a beautiful Amanda Connor cover. You've got an incredible Joe Michael Linsner cover. A beautiful Selena cover. Frank Cho, I love this one. For the last time, I'm not Xena. And, of course, our cosplay cover. Then we have Barbarella. We have Lucio Perillo. We have Derek Chu. We have Selena. Nope. I think this is not Selena. Oh, my God. I cannot remember her name. Give me a second. I've got it written down.
Another sign of age.
Yeah, really. Carla Cohen.
See how happy he is? He finally remembered it?
I didn't remember it. I read it.
I'm trying to give you a solid here. I got
no, please. This is live TV. I'm an idiot. Listen, all the fans know I ain't that smart. All right, I grew up in South Philly. You only get so much smarts there.
And all the people from South Philly are now going to drive to our office here.
It's not that they're going to drive here. They're all sitting on their stoops. They're just going to wait for me to go there.
That's true. That's right. To visit your family.
Exactly.
So, Nikki, come here.
Let's have a conversation. You want to pitch some pennies? Let me show you what we're going to do with these pennies.
That's such a funny thing that a lot of people don't talk about if they don't know the area. A lot of stoop sitting and a lot of people sitting on their porches like, hey, come here.
Nobody else in the country calls it a stoop either.
Yeah, it's a stoop. And nobody likes to leave. It's always, you got to come over. Yeah, come over. No, I'm not going. I can't.
Exactly. Hey, ice cream man, come here.
Yeah.
I heard the jingle. Come here. Give me that mix vanilla and chocolate. Yeah, put it in the cone. I'll give you the money when you get here. Here's a tip. Get out of here now. Give me my ice cream. We have a cosplay cover by Rachel Holland. We have the George R. R. Martin Game of Thrones, Clash of Kings, beautiful covers, including Mel Ruby. Don't we have 5 books? Oh, yeah, we do. All right. Yeah, I just couldn't see. We got Deja Thoris versus John Carter. We should do this in order of covers. We have Lucio Perillo. We have on top of that, now I'm trying to go in order, Joseph Michael Linsner. Of course, these are. We have on top of that, Alessandro Miracolo and Rachel Holland. Again, one of our favorite cosplayers. By the way, I screwed it up. This is why I need the paperwork. This was actually Dominica Jordan. So having the paperwork helps. And last but not least, Vengeance of Vampirella, Tom Snagowski, Michael Santamaria, cover by Lucio Perillo, cover by Ben Oliver, cover by Steven Segovia, cosplay cover by Maria Ramirez. And you know what? I did the writers and an artist a disservice. I said that this is Tom Snagowski and Michael Santamaria. I should point out that Red Sonja is Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti. I should point out that Barbarella is Sarah Hoyt and Maribek Musabokev. And I should have pointed out that Clash of Kings is George R. R. Martin with Landry Walker and art by Mel Ruby. And last but not least, Deja Thoris versus John Carter's Dan Abnett with art by Alessandro Miracolo. And look, we talk about the covers, but I also want to show some of the interiors. I mean, Moritat is just killing it. I'm going to just have to do this. Check out the action in this issue. I mean, it is just incredible. The panel work. Rex, you tell me if I'm actually showing it right or not.
It's absolutely phenomenal. Dave had a question.
I was going to say, I didn't want to cut you off, but we do have a pretty solid question.
Go for it.
So,
all right. So,
from Dave Cerrone. For readers who are new to Dynamite's main heroes, like Red Sonja, Deja Thoris, Vampirella, how can we figure out the order to read off the older series?
Wow. So, Dave, there's probably a few ways to answer that question. Are you talking about the current series? Because here's the thing. I mean, Vampirella's been around 50 years. She has a wide body of work, and boy, that could come out wrong. There have been a lot of great creators that have worked on her, and that could come out wrong. So there have been some great writers and artists that have told tales of her.
That's 3.
There have been some great writers and artists that have written and drawn Vampirella. And for example, one of the things that we have is the Master Series. And the Master Series has some great work by Grant Morrison and Mark Millar, Warren Ellis, Alan Moore, Mike Carey, James Robinson, which is one of my all-time favorites. James Robinson with Joe Jusko did a 2-issue miniseries, fully painted, where they put Draculon as the 7 gates of hell, and that Lilith is Vampirella's mother, and that's where Vampirella came from. Now, I thought that was incredible. The question is, do you have writers that you gravitate towards? I mean, when we first launched Red Sonja, for example, we had Michael A. Von Oming with Mike Carey on the first 6 issues, and then Michael A. Von Oming continued throughout 35 issues before we had Brian Reed and other great writers and Eric Troutman. So it depends if you can find a writer you gravitate towards. If you want something succinct and easy, I would say Gail Simone's run of Red Sonja, 19 issues. It's just do the research, see what you might love. We have all the magazines in the archives, 1 through 15 for Vampirella. We have all the Marvel issues collected into 4 trade paperbacks in Adventures of Red Sonja. I think they're all called Adventures of Red Sonja. It might be volume 4 that's Adventures of Red Sonja. I mean, and again, I'm just going all over the place here. I mean, Invincible Red Sonja is a great one to start with Jimmy Palmiotti. On Vampirella, you can get Vengeance of Vampirella from 25 years ago, back issues. We'll be doing an omnibus soon of the Tom Snigowski run and pick up the current Tom Snigowski run. I know I'm not giving you great answers. I'm giving you answers that you have lots of options. I mean, our John Carter series, just started really, really strong, and I can't believe I'm freezing on the first writer. He also did Thulsa Doom. Amy, help me. Google Thulsa Doom Dynamite. Tell me who the writer is. We really do not plan any of this. We do not. And the second she says the name, I will kick myself.
Say it one more time.
Thulsa Doom Dynamite Entertainment. So, and again, there's just a lot of great stories for you to follow up on. I mean, Game of Thrones is pretty easy. There's basically 64 issues that you can pick up. Barbarella, we had a first series that ran 12 issues by Mike Carey. Now we have a literary writer, Sarah Hoyt. The ongoing Vampirella series, actually, I can't believe this is the one I'm bringing up now. Christopher Priest, the entire run is fantastic. Not only the Free Comic Book Day 0 issue, but every single issue leading up to the wedding of Dracula and Vampirella. And yes, they actually do get married in issue 25. So then there's a Vampirella Unholy hitting in December. So there's so many great series, Army of Darkness, Death to the Army of Darkness, so many miniseries. Just we have been so fortunate in our career that we have been able to publish so many iconic characters. And, going back, even The Boys, I mean, The Boys is 98 complete issues.
For Red Sonja, was it?
Thulsa Doom.
Thulsa Doom.
Now I got to ask you for The Boys. Do you have any intention of making like one massive hardcover for it, like an omnibus type?
Amy's mad at me. I'm interrupting while she's doing other stuff. I'm always in trouble here. Always. I can't do anything right. I don't know what's up with that. Sorry, I interrupted you, AR.
No, you're good. I was going to say, since you brought up The Boys, I know there's, I think, is it 6 smaller omnibus?
Yes, 6 omnibuses that each have approximately 12 to 16 issues. It's the complete run, the initial run of 72 issues, all 3 6-issue miniseries. And then there's Dear Becky, the newest series that came out about a year and a half ago that the trade came out last year. So The Boys is very succinct. And the cool part about The Boys is that you'll be able to see the liberties that the great creative team, the producers and writers of the TV series took that were not in the comic, things that were in the comic that on some levels may have worked better because artwork is limited to your imagination. Although I got to tell you, Amazon probably spent $100 million on each season.
Wow.
So yeah, there is one thing I'll mention, and I can't talk about this. I'm not getting in trouble a 4th time. There is a scene in The Boys season 2, and when you see it, you will know what I'm talking about. That was so racy that Amazon or Sony said no to putting it in season 1, but then they allowed them to do it in season 2. And let's just say that it was a singular person on his own. And we'll leave it at that. And it was so funny that they cut it out of season 1. Everything in season 1 they said yes to, except for this one scene. And then they put it in season 2. But Eric Kripke, Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, just great team. Yes.
What was the stupid question again?
Who is the writer on Tulsa Doom Dynamite series?
Now I'm about 2 omnibus deep. Do you have any intention of like a big hardcover coming out, like maybe 2 volumes of hardcover, 3 volumes maybe?
You know what's funny? I'll just leave it at that.
All right.
There's my tease to you.
Now I was going to say, because I didn't want to invest
Nelson. I knew it was an A or an I that his name started.
It's the old man moment. Oh, too funny.
I was going to say, because I didn't want to invest in all the omnibus knowing a hardcover could come out, because, man, I am truly a sucker for hardcovers. I will get them every time.
I will say, I'll put it to you like this. Get the omnibuses now. We can use the money. I mean, don't cheat yourself out of reading it. Did I say something else?
I swear to God, he has not been drinking today. I don't know where this is coming from. It must be.
I haven't even had a veggie sandwich yet.
You might need one, my friend. Okay. A little spam sprinkled in the middle of that.
Lots of spam. Matter of fact, why not have a spam sandwich with a layer of spam on top, layer of spam on the bottom, spam in the middle, and maybe like parsley on top. That might make the perfect spam sandwich.
You know what I realized?
I don't know about that.
Nick's never had a spam sandwich?
Yeah. That goes without saying. But
you know what I used to eat as a kid?
What?
Double food. What was that called?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the poor man's spam.
Yeah, the one that the spam that's not congealed.
Right.
You
it's got the
out
little
with a spoon.
Yeah. Right. It's got the white devil on the. It's
yes,
white
yes,
with
yes,
the red
yes.
devil.
Isn't it just deviled meat or something
Yeah,
like that?
something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, with the little.
I think a little bit better than Scrapple.
No, there's nothing better than Scrapple.
Scrapple is like White Castle.
No.
Scrapple is like White Castle.
Okay, now
it's great.
Now you're going to start to offend me.
It's great at 2 in the morning after you've had a few drinks.
All right, be very careful here, Mr. Barucci. Now you dance.
But you have to be 21 years old to just.
I drive to Central Jersey to get White Castle. Okay, so don't mess with me on that one.
You have class. I will tell you, he has class. He's not the type of person to buy it frozen at the supermarket.
Ooh,
right,
dude. The bread is all funky when you do it that way.
I know.
You can't do it that way.
I'll tell you what. The ones I had in PA were pretty gross too. The White Castles I've had in PA were pretty disgusting. I'm going to be honest.
I don't know if I can hang with you two. I really don't think.
Hey, I said in PA they were disgusting. It was
I've never had bad White Castle in any state in the union.
You know what? I've always drank White Castle after 2 in the morning, and it's except for once. Once I had White Castle for lunch, and it was like lead.
Yeah, it's
horrible.
horrible.
We go back to talking about comics. I mean, I got myself in trouble with comics. I'm getting myself in trouble trying to get a name. I'm getting myself in trouble talking about food. I should just shut the heck up and leave. You know what? I'm going to leave it with the 2 guys with class. They've got a great show tomorrow night.
We do. We're almost at the end of this show, but thank you, Mr. Barucci, for your
everyone
extensive knowledge on Dynamite titles.
And please don't come back anytime soon.
But lack of knowledge on spam and other types of food. But yeah, so we're gonna have a great show tomorrow night. Looking forward to having AR on as well. We always have a good time. Conversations can drift anywhere.
They usually do.
Even now. But we'll have again. John Romita Jr. Senior signed comics. We'll have Terry and Rachel Dodson. Let's see, Adam Kubert, another legendary creator. Stefano Guadiano, Peter Tomasi. Let's see, we have Fabiano Neves, Blood Red Ultra Limited Edition Vampirella cover. Let's see what else we got here. Sketch remarks by Ken Hazer, and I'm a huge
as
fan
always.
Let's see. Graded CGC guaranteed 9.8s. We have Spider-Gwen #1, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers #1.
Cool.
Captain America #700 signed by Mark Waid. That's a great cover. I love that one. Action Comics #1000 by Jim Lee. Signed by Brian Michael Bendis. And another great legendary creator, Dan Jurgens, has signed Aquaman 80th Anniversary Special #1. And then we have something new that we're going to try. We tried last week. The Mega Mix collector set seemed to work, so we're going to keep bringing it back. We had one last week, I think. I want to say Ron picked it up, But when we bring you this, it will be different every week. But this week it'll be 10 grand, number one, silver signature series signed by J. Michael Straczynski, Batman number 75 signed and remarked by Ken Hazer, and then an Iron Man number one CGC 9.8 guaranteed. So, great conversation. One of the biggest things is we love it when our viewers hit the chat boards, because that's where the engagement happens. We love, talking to them, hearing their opinions, their questions, whatever. So it's always a great time. So 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow night on The Experience. Hope you guys have time to join us. As I said, we can talk about just about anything, and we have.
I was gonna say we always talk about, we have all these awesome books going up, but for chat right now, for if you haven't already tuned in, seriously, it really is good conversation as well. We talk a lot about, the movies, how the comic books relate to the movies, hardcovers. He said the conversations go anywhere. I mean, they truly do. We obviously focus on selling some of the books as well. It's basically like we bring up a book and then that leads into all this other conversation. So Absolutely. It really is a fun time.
It is. And again, hit thumbs up, subscribe to AR's channel. He's doing some great things, really kind of expanding, a great source of knowledge when it comes to comics, a student of comics, if you will, and an honest guy. I mean, I think last week we talked a lot about the X-Men, which was not really a title that you were into, about that period with Claremont and Burns. I think we ignited some interest in you there about the characters and the depth of them. But again, John and I, who's usually here with us on Wednesdays, a lot of times we kind of lean on AR for the extensive comic knowledge. So we appreciate it.
All right. And Jimmy showed up right at the very last second. But thank you for tuning in. It's going to be on repeat, so you guys can still tune in. But these Tuesday episodes are always a tad shorter than the typical comic convos. Make sure you tune in on Thursday. I've got Andrea Molinari coming on, one of the head editors for Scout Comics. We're going to be talking about, a lot of Scout titles, stuff that they've been working on as well. So I'm really, really looking forward to
jump in.
Next
I'm going
back.
to throw out a few things. First and foremost, everybody, we have a show tomorrow night. Absolutely. And hopefully you can tune in. But the other thing I want to mention is please go to your local comic store. We talked about the Dynamite books. It would be really appreciated if you visit your local retailer, not only for Dynamite, but there's lots of great books from Marvel, DC,
support your local
Image, everybody. A little bit biased about supporting us, but support everybody because the industry needs it and the retailers need it. And two, if you would not mind, please go to the Experience YouTube page, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. And please go to Dynamite Entertainment YouTube page and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And you can see my ugly mug around every Tuesday promoting our Wednesday in-store titles, which you already saw here. But seriously, if you can subscribe to both, that's great. Thank you for always supporting AR as well. He puts in some of the best shows and brings so much love to you guys because he really cares. The reason why his shows are so fantastic is because he puts his all into them. And we're really happy to be working with him. And it's one of the reasons why we support him is because he just brings joy to everybody. He brings God, I don't even know the word, but just pure love of comics. And we need to support him because the more views he gets, hit thumbs up for him as well. And if you haven't subscribed to his channel, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. I will say this, and AR can correct me, but, before we started working with him and kind of sponsoring a little bit, AR was dropping 2 or so videos a day. He's up to 4 or 5 a week. 2 or so videos a week. He's up to 4 or 5 a week now. And, while we're supporting a little bit, he can only do it with your support as well.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a fun ride so far.
Guys, thank you all for your support. I'm going to keep it with the classy guys.
Thank you.
So join us tomorrow night. It'll be me, AR, and our buddy John, who actually is a food expert, 6 to 8 Eastern time. Hope to see you guys there.
Cool. And as far as the Thursday's Comic Convos episode with Andrea Molinari, that's going to be 6 o'clock EST. So if you're Eastern time, obviously 6 o'clock. And we're going to go from there. But that is a wrap on episode 10. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you so much, Rex. And I know Nick just walked away, but tell him I said thank you as well. Really does mean a lot that you guys come and hang out.
It's our pleasure, buddy.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And thank you again, everybody. And have a good night.